Hello, everyone. Thank you for being subscribers, for looking at this video, taking time to listen to this. Hopefully I've used a clever headline that's some sort of promo that got you excited to come check it out, because there is very big news that I'm very excited to share about 2025. And that is why Faith Clarke is here, because Faith is going to be joining me next year in a partnership with Feminist Founders. And I'm so excited about that. I think it's going to be huge to bring Faith on and to have that additional perspective. And also just like selfishly, I love working with Faith. So I think it's going to be really amazing. And I wanted to tell you about that and some other changes that are coming for next year. And so Faith and I are both going to talk about some of the things that are coming up. But before we do that, we're going to, in the beginning of the year, when things really officially get going, we're going to do something more in depth with Faith to really introduce her. But can you just give like the really high level overview of who you are and why you wanted to be a part of Feminist Founders?
So the first thing people will find out about me is that I have no idea what high level and really brief even mean. Like I am the queen of context and the backstory. And so anyway,
Can I
hi
put
everyone.
A timer on you?
You're right. That's me. You kind of like have me in a countdown situation all the time. I'm excited to be part of this because my work in restorative culture design and like generative teamwork and things like that, it's so founded in being focused in this anti-people harming structure. Like you have to be gangster about not harming people. And I think as we are defining feminism, as we are framing it, what we're basically saying is that we are forcefully against supremacist structures that create barriers for multiple marginalized people. And so it feels like a really good marriage to me, because I think, in this space, we can say, how do we do this? Yes, it's by saying absolute no to all of these principles in the workplace and in our businesses. So I'm psyched.
You did a great job. That was very brief and succinct. So thank you. And again, we'll be doing more so that you get to really know Faith in the coming year. But this is just the initial letting you know this massive change will be happening, that this won't be just Feminist Founders from Becky Mollenkamp. It's going to be Feminist Founders with Becky Mollenkamp and Faith Clarke. And we're really excited about that. And because you're coming along and joining, there will be changes that come with that. And we don't even know what they all are yet. We're still talking about what that will look like. We're going to figure it out. Exactly. But we do know, what we think we know anyway, is that we'll continue to have that weekly email that goes out for everyone for free. It's going to have some evolution to it, but will probably still be some sort of roundup kind of formula. And we will continue with a public podcast in some way. But the Feminist Founders podcast will be changing for sure. And we're not exactly positive what that looks like, but we know there will be some changes coming with it. But there will continue to be that public free podcast. So there will still continue to be free content for everyone. And there will be more paid content, more content that's going behind our paywall. We currently have 55, something like that, subscribers, and we'd love to see that community grow. And in order to do that, we need to put more stuff behind the paywall. And part of that is going to look like behind the scenes stuff. So us having conversations about this partnership, about this business, about what we are experiencing in business, what we're seeing in the business space, contextualizing it. You love context, contextualizing it through this feminist lens. We also want to host some sort of monthly community event. Some of you were able to come, was that last week-ish? For the first, I think. For the first event that we hosted, just to sort of talk about the future of business. And everyone who was there loved it. And you are, Faith, very much about belonging and community. So do you want to just give a little, whatever you have in mind right now about maybe that event and how that might inspire what we're going to be putting out for our paid community in the coming year? As far as community events?
Yeah, I think the thing that made me fall in love with community stuff and teamwork is just that 1 + 1 is not equal to 2 when we work together as a team, when we work together as a community. And there is this beautiful synergy that makes 1 + 1 into 2,000. And so many of us as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, women in business, we struggle with the same things, the isolation. This journey can feel really monastic. And to be able to build community in a way where we actually share each other's burdens, we actually lighten each other's loads, we actually practice the principles that we're saying should be in the world, where our togethering is generative and not othering. That will actually practice these principles. And so in the research on belonging that I've been doing, one of the things that I got super excited about is that people feel like they belong when they don't have to press hard to meet their own needs. And they don't have to beat down barriers. They don't have to overly advocate. When they know that the community all is supporting their need fulfillment, that's when people feel like they belong. And so I think it would be amazing for us as a community to belong to and with each other. And in so doing, meet each other's social, emotional, and, like support each other, like write a little bit of copy if that's what's happening, or just cry with each other or listen to whatever is happening with a client or with a colleague. So we want to build that kind of community.
Yeah, we can't wait to be hosting more community events. I'm thinking we'll probably plan something for late January. My guess will be that will be the first of what will hopefully be monthly, not even hopefully, what will be monthly community events. So again, for our paid subscribers, if you're already a paid subscriber, I just want you to get excited about the fact that there's going to be a lot more stuff coming to you. You already have the private podcast feed, but it will be getting more regular updates that will include content from Faith and I together, perhaps content from Faith and I apart, but there'll be a lot more coming to you in that private podcast feed, as well as the opportunity to participate in these monthly community events that will be small and intimate, just amongst our paid subscribers, as an opportunity to be with other people who care deeply about the same things you do and who get what that means as a business owner, right? And the challenges. And I think, I hate the phrase now more than ever, but now more than ever, given what's happening politically in the climate that we're in now with this massive shift, I think that space, those kinds of spaces are going to be so important. And we're excited to be part of creating one of those. So here's the important part that I'm sure people want to know about, which is money, right? What does this mean as Faith and I go into this venture together? And as you said, 1 + 1 = 2,000, meaning we're going to be able to really amplify what we are creating and giving to everyone. That does mean there will be pricing increases, because we are going to be doing so much more than I have been capable of doing on my own. One, just in capacity as far as time, because obviously if there's two of us, we can have more time. But also Faith she's just going to fill in so many gaps that I have, which is what I'm so excited about. She brings so much more complex and diverse understanding than I have about so many of these issues, specifically as they relate to the workplace. And so, obviously that means that we think the value of what we're bringing is also going to increase. And along with that, we do think that means that we will be raising the prices. So in 25, this is only, end of November, so there's time. We want to give you time to think about what this looks like and means. But in 2025, the pricing will go, right now we're paying, it's $6 a month or $60 a year for a paid membership or a paid subscription. That will increase. And then there's also, $6, $60, and then the $125 is what it currently is to do the founding member rate, which has until now just meant my undying love, but in the future will mean more. And that's going to increase then from 6 to 10, from 60 to 100, and from 125 to 150. So if you are currently paying, whatever you're currently paying, if you're one of our 55 amazing current paid members, your prices don't go up. It's legacy pricing. As long as you are continued at that rate, it will stay at that rate. If you ever cancel and try to resubscribe, then you would have to pay the new rates. But I want you to know, if you're already paying, you're not going to be paying more. Also, we want you to know, if you're not yet paying and have thought about it or are excited about what Faith is bringing to the table and some of the changes we're talking about, now's the time to upgrade, because again, those prices are going to be going up in a month. And so what you get then for that paid membership, as we talked about, is you're going to get not only the free weekly and whatever we put out publicly on the podcast, but you will get that private podcast feed that will be updated regularly from Faith, from me, and from Faith and I together, with a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I think is going to be really interesting, in us talking to about how so much of this stuff applies to business. Then you also get admission into that monthly community event. And those are going to be really affirming and validating and just really wonderful spaces. We know because we did one last week and it was. And then if you decide to upgrade to the founding member rate, which right now is 125, it's going to go up to 150. You're going to get all of that. Plus you will get your name, your business name, and a link to your business in our newsletter once a month. So that's 12 mentions a year just for an extra $25 on your subscription rate. And we have 3,000 subscribers, and we expect that to be growing because we're going to be implementing plans to see that grow. And again, if you lock in at the rate now at 125, you'll be legacy priced into that. So that gives you a year. So right there, you're paying $10 a month just for getting your business in front of 3,000 people, plus all that other stuff. So we want you to think about that. We want you to lock in those rates now before it goes up. What are you feeling, Faith? What do you want people to know about what's coming and anything else that you're thinking just as far as like this call to consider upgrading now?
Yeah, I think that the insider's view is going to provide opportunities to hear how we apply so much of the daily stuff to our businesses. So like, for example, today, November 25th, in addition to being my son's birthday, is International Day for Ending the Violence Against Women. And so an opportunity, I'm planning to do some writing, but Becky, maybe you and I will talk about this and maybe put it in a newsletter. There's an opportunity here just to say, what's violence? And it's not always the thing that we think violence is. And there's a way that our businesses provide us with an opportunity to say no to violence in the small ways. And so in other words, ways that we shut each other down, ways that we make people less than, ways that we undervalue people. And I think that when Becky and I get into these conversations, like what's happening today in the world and what does this actually mean for us, what we'll do is get just really nuanced. And the movement has struggled from lack of nuance. This black and white thinking is the same thinking that's gotten us here. And we can't break the master's stronghold with the master's tools. And so there's an opportunity for us to kind of look at each of these things and just say, how do we understand this well enough to really upend it? So I absolutely encourage you to be on the inside of these conversations because we do need to leave the world better than we got it.
Yeah, and I just think for all of us who are wanting to learn and to do better, like come along that journey and you're going to find stuff that I think you're going to be able to really apply to your business, because that's ultimately why I hope most of you are here, right? Is that you have a business and you also care deeply about equity, social justice, some of these issues we talk about, and you're really wanting to figure out, especially as we move into the next 4 years of really potentially even more trying times, not that they haven't been, but we know there are major changes coming to how the world around us will affect our businesses or could affect our businesses, and just how we are going to see corporate America showing up. And I think there's going to be an opportunity like we've never had as private business owners to challenge norms and to have it make a deeply meaningful difference. And so we want you to come along with us on that journey, and we're really excited about what's ahead. So thank you for watching this. This is sort of, consider this your Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday offer from Feminist Founders, which is upgrade now, because if you upgrade now, you'll get locked in at that 660 or 125. Again, the 6 or 60 is to get the behind the scenes and private podcast feed, as well as entry into our monthly event. That 125 gets you the 12 mentions of your company name and website in our newsletter that goes out to 3,000 people, which will be growing over the year, but your rate won't go up. And in fact, your rate won't go up over the years as long as you don't cancel. So please consider this the time to upgrade. Big changes coming next year. And I really just can't wait to share more of Faith with you. I'm going to link to her podcast episode. She was on Feminist Founders at the beginning of the year, which began this beautiful relationship. Another reason why the podcast is so meaningful to me. So I will link to her episode so that you can learn more about her there. But we will be back in January with a more in-depth conversation to introduce you to us. We'll probably do the first behind the scenes conversation for everyone for free, just to give you a piece of understanding of what that looks like. Maybe we do that next month. Well, anyway, This is from live. Here's behind the scenes. maybe we do that next month to give people that picture of what that's going to look
Right.
like, right? And then next year it'll all be behind the paywall for those who are interested. So
Yeah, before
thank
the
you all.
holidays, we just finish up.
That's it. Perfect, right? And thank you, Faith. I just want to say too, Faith said to me, I have a crazy question to ask you, and you may just say no, and like, it's fine. But she's like, what would you think about me coming along and helping with this? And I was like, I felt an immediate shift in my body of like, yes, that sounds amazing. So ask for the thing that you think this is a wild idea. They'll never say yes, right? And then also on the other side of that, when someone asks you something, trust what your body tells you. There's a
Yeah,
little advice at the end.
body honest is what we need to be about here. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I felt it. Well, I can't wait. 2025 is going to be amazing. Thank you, Faith. And everyone, there's buttons somewhere if you'd like to upgrade and be a part of what we're building next year.